That is one of the hardest parts about being an entrepreneur, is that your salary is not determined by, someone saying, hey, listen, you did a good job, here's a bonus. There's no bonus here, no matter how good of a job you're doing. It's hard work every day, and it's really good for people to understand before embarking on the journey, because I think a lot of the information out there isn't sharing the highs and the lows. It's just sharing the highs of being an entrepreneur after they've made it. And I want our listeners to be very clear, it's not for everyone. Hello and welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurial Truth. On today's podcast, we have Nasiba, the founder of the PodMama Diary, and she's going to talk to us today about her journey, what she's been doing, how she started her business. Nasiba, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes,
Yes.
tell our listeners a
Uh,
little bit about what you do and who you serve.
yes. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Nasiba Nijamuddin and I'm from India. And I have a podcast, the Pod Mama Diary. And after starting the podcast, I had this idea in the mind to start my own podcast management service. That's how I started this Pod Mama Diary podcast management service for women's. It is for especially for women podcasters who want to launch their new podcast, or they want to grow their show. I help them to amplify their voice, to make their launch easy, and also to manage their ongoing podcast.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
So dive into it for us as to why you actually started the business. I know we had talked about where you were, what you were doing before you launched. Tell our listeners a little bit about why you started the business.
Yes. Technically, I have completed my college background as a food technologist. I worked as a researcher in food industry for about 3 to 4 years. And after that, once I become the mother, I had to quit my corporate job. So I was like, I decided to take a break from my career. Of I can't, after having a baby, I can't go and work in industry, and I can't do research because an experiment will take for 24 hours and sometimes 48 hours. I have to be in the lab. So I decided, okay, let me pass this career for a while. And while I was thinking, I came across this online space where many women are building business on their own, and they are doing something which they feel like they are doing something which make them feel happy after becoming a mom. And that strike me. And one day, while my baby was napping, I just came across this many podcasters. They are doing podcast as a business. That's how I started my own podcast, the Pod Mama Diary. And after I started my podcast, I had a lot of struggle. I don't know how to start, how to launch a show, how to grow that show. And I have learned one by one. Everything I have learned on my own experiment. I have experimented many things and I have learned everything slowly. And after that, I decided, okay, there are many women podcasters like me who needed help. They have powerful stories, they have powerful voice, but they don't know how to share that and when to share this. That's why I decided, okay, let me help them. I want to help others. I started helping. Through a referral, I got a client. She is an Australian. Um, she was about to launch a podcast. Through my sister, I got her referral and I offered her help. Like, I will do editing service and I will do all the launch and all the management service for you, like that. And after that, okay, let me do this as a management service. I got this idea and I jumped deep into it. And once I started this, I had a discovery calls with few, and many of them started giving their podcast to me. They want to manage all the back end works so that they will get time, they will get idea, they will get content, what to think, they will have their own time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I decided to take all the back end works. That's how I'm doing my business now and how it is growing now.
I love it. I love it. And a lot of people don't understand how much work and effort and time goes into developing a show and managing the show, editing the content, doing all the
Yeah.
things, you know. They see all these podcasts start, but then they're not able to be consistent because it's a lot of work.
Yes, yes. Starting a podcast is something, it requires our own time, and also it requires a lot of back end works. Like we have to, if you are doing an interview podcast, we have to pitch people. If you are doing a solo podcast, also we have to do our content. We have to outline that. We have to record. We have to set up the mic, and after that, once the recording is completed, we have to edit it, and after that we have to post it in a platform, we have to schedule it, and we need to, like, social media, we have to post it on social media, we have to make our podcast visible to the people. So there
Yeah.
is a lot of back end works. What people see is the polished episode
Yep.
later, but there is huge back end works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's fascinating how people see the back end, and on social media they always see the
Yes.
polished edited version, and they don't realize that in order to even do that, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of the people behind the scenes don't get the credit. Now let me ask
Yes.
you, with managing your own podcast, how is that going?
Yeah, I actually, first when I started this, I was confused. I don't know how to manage both. At the time, I felt AI and like a time block can help me. So I usually, before my podcast, I usually launch it on Thursday. So I set my Wednesday dedicatedly for my own podcast. So remaining days I work with clients and I work with their podcast. This is how I started to doing time blocking, because I have a family to manage and I have a business to manage. So I felt like I can get help from AI tools, and I also can automate my systems, and I can fix the time so that my work will be like, if I automate my system, then my work will be going on without me. So it will going on in the back end. So I slowly learned that after starting a business. While starting a business, I don't know any of this, and once I started, I learned slowly. I learned to use the systems, I learned slowly to use all the technologies available, so
Mhm.
that now I'm able to manage my own podcast and also my guest works,
I
like
love
my client works.
I
Yeah.
love what you are saying, right? A lot of people don't understand that you have to have the right systems in place.
Yes.
And one of the
Yes.
systems you spoke about too was literally just time blocking
Yeah.
time for important tasks. Can you speak a little bit about how time blocking works for
Yes.
someone who doesn't know
Um,
how to time block?
yeah. First, I want you to fix the time. I want you to know how much hours you can spend for your business. For me, it's about 4 hours. For 4 hours, I will take in a day, I can dedicatedly spend 4 hours to my business. First hour, I will put all the priority works, which is of higher priority work. If it was Tuesday, mostly I put for my client work, so that the which is the priority task, I put that on the first hour. And the second hour, mostly I used to do the social media works, like connection, networking with people. So that will I put at second, because it is less important work. It is not my priority task, which I put on my second hour. And for third hour, I do all my like least priority works which can be done on the next day also. Those work which can be delayed, those work I will do on my third hour. And my fourth hour, I usually sit down and journal myself what was the my task I'm going to do further, and how is my mostly like analytics, how is my work going on, what are the steps I can take to improve my. I usually do that in my last hour, so that I will get all my work done, and what are the blending works together. So I will get like, I will do last hour for organizing for the next day,
Mm-hmm.
so that my next day will be better. This is how I do the time blocking. Mostly you can do with your Google Calendar or the calendar which you are. That 1 hour you can put your phone under DND mode, don't disturb mode, and you can just time block that 1 hour for your
Mm-hmm.
business and for you. This
Mm-hmm.
is how I started doing time blocking.
Let me ask you. So you're doing time blocking. Are you blocking the same thing, same task every single day, 7 days a week, or is it 5 days a week?
Yeah, mostly for networking or social media networking, engaging with people, I usually block it for 7 days, because networking with people is so important in your business. It is like the foundation for your business. People are the major foundation for your business. You have to speak with many people. So I used to block that 1 hour for 7 days. And remaining client work, it depends on your schedule. It depends on your client. If you have more clients, you can do it for 5 to 6 days, and if you have less client, you can do that for 3 to 4 days. It depends on your client. And other works is like organizing for next day. I also do that for whole week for
Mhm.
7 days.
Mhm. And what are
Yeah.
some of the tools that have helped you to be able to stay on task, and tools that you find to be the most helpful with your business?
Yeah. Yeah, first thing is Google Calendar. Google Calendar is something I just put my schedule in that, and it will notify me. And after that, mostly my business is on podcasting. So or I like editing tools. It helped me a lot. All the AI editing tools and all the social media designing tools. It also helped me, like Canva. Mostly I use Canva for social media edits, and for podcast I use Descript and Adobe Podcast, and so many podcast tools I have. I use that. And for my managing my own task, I use a Notion. I think you know about this app.
Yes.
I use Notion for organizing my task. And regarding my podcast, I use Descript, and because Descript, it translates, it gives transcript, so it will be easy for us to edit. These are the AI tools which I'm familiar with and I'm using day to day.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, we definitely use some of those tools in our I would say our arsenal of tools. We have so many tools that are popping up on the market, so many tools
yeah,
that are, you know, it's really hard to just narrow down and just focus on specific tools,
yeah,
because so many new things are coming on the market. But again, in order not to spend all time and all day on social media, it's necessary to just limit what you're doing.
yeah,
How are
yes.
how are you staying focused and staying on track?
Yeah, on track, I used to tell it as while starting a business, I had so many diversion and doubts. Like, will it work out? And I have compared myself to many people who are out there, who are well versed in their business, and through the social media, we used to compare ourselves, right? But after going on in the track, I found that okay, we have to focus on our business, we have to focus on our network. So that I decided to stay on the track, stay on people who I know, so that I won't get compared myself to the people who are well versed in their business. First we have to set our own path, so that we will travel in their path. We can take examples of them, how they had done this. We can get their ideas and we can implement that, but we don't want to compare us to them. That's how we can stay focused on our business. If I want to be a good podcaster, if I want to be a super top podcaster, I don't want to compare myself to her, but I want to follow her footprints, how she established her show, how she made a network with people. I will get ideas from that, so that I will create my own roadmap, so that I will stay on track. I won't get okay, this person is doing something new, this person is something new. I won't get off track, and I will stay on track while I get roadmap myself on the business I'm doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Authenticity is something that's so hard to find. And there's so much content being promoted, being pushed out by people that have the money resources to do it. And I
Yes,
feel like
yes.
smaller podcasters or smaller businesses that are in the space aren't getting the same level of visibility as those other, shows that are actually putting money behind pushing their shows out.
Yes, yes.
How are some of the ways that someone who has a podcast can get their show more visibility if they don't have a large budget to spend?
Yes. First of all, I tell the people that your content is something which people likes you. People like you because of your content. In your podcast, people likes you because you're interviewing so many entrepreneurs. You're giving them idea. This is how people likes our content. Content play a major role. So first thing, usually I tell other podcasters is to be solid on your content. You have to be good on your content. And second, once you choose your content, once you niche down your market, you will have a content idea what you're going to do. And after that, regarding visibility, you have to launch your podcast, and after that I want you to take social media platform into your hand. You can put about your show, you can put social media clips on Instagram, Facebook. You can promote in that, and after that, networking, you can put in Facebook groups, and you can ask people to share, so that many people will know about you. The best thing I say is put on social media, so that you will become visible to more people. And after that, I usually insist them is 48-hour 48-hour window, which is like if we publish an episode on Wednesday, the first 48 hours is so important for you to rank on the top, because
Mhm.
Apple or a Spotify platform, they consider this first 48 hours is so important. So first 48 hours you have to do all the social media clips, all you have to take your podcast in front of the people, mostly in this first 48 hours. It helps you to rank better in your chart.
Mhm.
And after that, regarding visibility is SEO optimization. You can optimize SEO, you can put your show notes which is optimized, which is discoverable to the people. SEO optimization comes next. And third is guest swap. You can go and do podcast as a guest in some other show, so that people will get to know about your show. This is how you can make your podcast visible to the people without much spending. It won't cost you much money on going and being guest on other show. You will become visible to their audience.
Mhm.
And if your what you're speaking is good and their audience love that, they will go and search for your show. This is
Mhm.
how you can grow your podcast without spending so much money.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. I love always giving our listeners some valuable tips, and that same wisdom applies to any business that they have, any entrepreneurial journey they may be on. In order to get your business in front of people, you have to be
Yeah.
visible nowadays. But there's so much noise in the marketplace. There's so many people that are now online. It feels kind of crowded and overwhelming. But if you have your own voice, right? Your
Yes.
own authentic voice. It's easy to be discovered, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
yeah,
that's
people will
right.
resonate with you.
Because podcast is something people is going to hear your own voice. It is like they you are going and speaking in their ears, or
Mm-hmm.
it's a video podcast, then they are viewing us directly in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So we can people will find us if we are authentic, real, and if we are good with our content. People really loves us and they want to go and watch our show again and again. This how we can have devoted listeners listening to our show. This how we can make people come new subscribers to come and watch our show.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And I love that you're cross platforming. So you are in these chats, you are talking to people, you're making yourself visible, you're really, really doing the thing when it comes to entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you have anyone else around you that's in that entrepreneurial space? And how hard was it for you to get into the space once you decided that you were gonna become an entrepreneur, not work in a corporate environment?
Yeah, first, I want to say my sister, she is doing an online service, like she is a launch strategist. I got a entrepreneurship idea basically from her only. Working in corporate and shifting to our own is really a tough, because in corporate we used to get salary fortnightly, or after 2 weeks we will get constant, but here nothing is constant. Here it is, you are going to work 24 bar 7 for yourself.
Mhm,
You have to have that clear idea in the mind first. If you are jumping into entrepreneurship from corporate, you are going to work for yourself. You are only going to work for yourself. Nobody is going to do that work. So you have to have this idea in the mind that you won't get salary regularly. You have to create some value for the people, so that automatically people will believe in you, and they will build a good bond with you, so that revenue will come later. Revenue will come once we people started trust us. That's how we have to grow the business. We have to give them some solution so that they will trust us. In corporate, we just have to do the work which our manager tells us. Here there is no manager. You have to sit and do our work. That work will, if it benefits someone, if anybody likes that work, then automatically revenue will come.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is one of the hardest parts about being an entrepreneur, is that your salary is not determined by, someone saying, "Hey, listen, you did a good job. Here's a bonus." There's no bonus here, no matter how good of a job you're doing. It's hard work every day, and it's really good for people to understand before embarking on the journey, because I think a lot of the information out there isn't sharing the highs and the lows. It's just sharing the highs of being an entrepreneur after they've made it. And I want our listeners to be very clear, it's not for everyone. You have to have the grit and the determination to constantly every day do it, even when days are good. Some days are good, some days are bad. But it's important for our listeners to understand that. Yep.
Yes, doing repeated task will feel like it won't be good while doing repeated task regularly. But as an entrepreneur, you have to do that. You have to, if you're doing networking is boring for you, but you have to make your show visible to the people. It can be done only through network. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Agreed. Agreed. And what does your sister think about what you're doing and your journey? Are you getting like support? Like,
Yeah, I get so many client referrals from her. And I now, while starting the business, I felt like, okay, this I'm doing something which I won't get support from whole family. But once I started, I felt like even a small my kid itself is helping me in the business. So this how it grows. Some after 7 months or 8 months, you will get recognition from the people. You will be like you will be happy to know that you have a business on your own. People started to trust you, people will believe in you. This is how entrepreneur journey has changed me, and I'm sure the listeners who are watching this, it will change you also. And that starting is always tough. I want you to start. It can be messy, it won't be perfect, but you can start, and you can go with the flow. Later you will learn everything and you will mold yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, tell us, if you could give yourself advice, your younger self advice, what would that advice be?
If I meet a younger or teenager Nasiba, I would tell her that you don't overstress yourself. You just go with the flow. Everything takes a part. You have to choose the path which gives you happiness, which gives you satisfaction. You don't have to overstress yourself. You don't have to do everything in a perfect manner. You can be imperfect, later you can change that to perfect.
Love that. Love that. How
Yes.
can our listeners find you?
I have a podcast, the PodMama Diary, and my service name is also the PodMama Diary. I have Instagram page as Nasiba Nijamuddin or PodMama Diary. Everything is under the name the PodMama Diary.
Awesome. Nasiba, thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you for enlightening our listeners. It's been a great conversation. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. And thank you guys for being here and supporting us.
Thank you.